Hi guys, it's Abby. Welcome back. I'm coming at you from my car today. So I'm going to talk about progressed sun in Leo and progressed sun in the 5th house. So if you want to skip to the 5th house part, there will be a timestamp in the description box so you can do that. So the areas of the body that will be affected during this progression are the heart and the back. So specifically the spine and especially the upper back. If you are a Cancer and you go into your Leo progression, you will either go in early in life. If you were born at the end of Cancer season, you'll go right in when you're still under 10. If you were born in the middle of Cancer season, you'll go in as a teenager. And if you were born at the beginning of Cancer season, you won't go in until your 20s. When you go into your Leo progression, this is when you come out of your little crab shell and all the emotional stuff can take a break for a while, because this is your royalty era. This is when you need to get out of the house that Cancer loves so much and be seen and be heard and have fun and be entertained and be entertaining. This is a time where you're going to be really into your creative pursuits, because Leo rules the heart, and the heart is where we have our passions. So this is also the area of where you're going to be interested in lovers, not necessarily long-term relationships, possibly dressing a little bit more flashy than you're used to, because you do feel comfortable in the limelight, so you want to be seen a little bit more. And this is also a time when your emotions can sort of take a slight break. You can even learn to channel your emotions into a creative pursuit during this time. So especially if you're in high school and you have opportunities like, you know, theater, music, art, you have all these opportunities to really get creative when you're in school still, and even in elementary school. This is a time where you will start caring more about how you look. Leo is the sign of the narcissist. I'm just going to say it. It is the sign of me. So if you are a Cancer and you don't have a lot of like Leo or fire in your 5th house or 1st house stuff, you aren't going to be very used to that energy. So it's good. It's a good time for you to embrace it, because it will give you a break from your emotional chaos that happens. Like, there's just so many emotions for Cancer. So it will give you a little bit of a break. It will allow you to stop thinking so much about other people's feelings and allowing that to affect you so deeply. And it will be a time for you to just sort of be like, I'm going to do me now. I'm going to think about me. I'm going to think about what I want, what I like, what my passions are, and I'm going to pursue that stuff. People tend to love Leo. Like, they want to see you. So if you have any desire to be in like a social media platform, you'll probably do really well during your Leo progression, expressing your art or just singing or creating things or whatever. People will want to see you during this time. You will be very popular. And you'll probably have great hair during this, by the way. This is a great hair progression. But, you know, this is mostly a time to have fun and to be out and about, being seen, entertaining, having fun, having lovers, be safe. Now, if you are a Gemini and you're going into your Leo progression, if you were born at the end of Gemini season, you went through 30 years of your Cancer progression. So you are at least in your early 30s. When you're going into this. If you were born in the beginning of Gemini season, you had to wait, maybe possibly even up until your late 20s, if you were born at the very beginning of Gemini season, to get into your Cancer progression. So now we're talking, you're in your 50s going into this. So wherever you are, this progression is the time for you to really get out of all of the touchy-feely stuff you've been in for the last 30 years. And get out of the house, get out of your like domestic rut maybe that you're starting to fall into, and really start to be out and about, be seen, expressing yourself. So Gemini is naturally very expressive, talk, right? Give and receive information. That's what Gemini is great at. At this point, you are now ready for a public platform. So if you haven't been into social media, if you've sort of been like, I've been going through my domestic era, I've been off of Facebook or whatever, like, get on Facebook, or not Facebook really, like, get on YouTube, get on TikTok. Like, you are going to blow up during this progression, because you're already practiced at this point in your life at giving and receiving information. It's your life. Also, if you do something with your hands, you could be highly successful during this time. You could really blow up with whatever you're doing with your hands, and you could make a bag doing this. This is a time for you to really embrace that inner child. Maybe you didn't get a chance to. Like maybe you had kids really early, maybe not, but this is your royal era. This is your king era, your queen era. So this is the time that you get to have all of the spotlight on you, have fun. If the domestic life and the family life was just kind of emotionally heavy for you and you were a really big part of, you know, keeping the family together, you're just like, it's me time, it's go time, I'm gonna have fun. I'm going to pursue what I want to pursue. My hobbies are now going to be my thing. Now you could actually make your career what your hobby was. So whatever you did for fun, you could make money from it. You could also be very lucky during this progression. I forgot to say this during the last part. You could be very good at gambling. Other things that can happen during this progression is you could have a little too much fun. You have to watch your drinking, right? You could spend too much money. You could gamble too much. You could shop too much. If you are young enough that you're still in your childbearing years, you could have some more kids at this time. Leo loves their kids because it's their creative project. It's their creativity come alive. That's their biggest creative expression. So Leos just enjoy the kids that they have, and people during Leo progression enjoy their kids. It's just that they might remember when you were a little bit more of like a smother mother or way more like emotional. This is fun mom time. This is like, let's all go to Vegas, kids. Like, let's all have fun. Let's all go out. This is a time where you want to be seen, and you're going to be super social during this time. Gemini's chat it up, but you sometimes have social anxiety, especially during the Cancer phase. So now is a time where you can go out there and you can really enjoy being seen and just really have like flings. If you were married, for example, and now you're divorced, you can just, this is your time to have flings. Leo is about passion in the moment. It's about lovers. It's about romance. Now, if you're going through your Leo progression and you're a Taurus, so at the very earliest you're approaching 60, or you're around 60, possibly 90, if you were born at the very start of Taurus season, because you'd have to get all the way through Taurus and then all the way through Gemini, and then you'd be approaching 60 when you went into Cancer, so you'd be approaching 90. So this is your golden years. This is your reign. Like I've been saying, this is your royal era. So this is when you get to enjoy all the fruits of all of your labors for your whole life. You've labored a lot. I know Taurus has been working, and you're going to continue to work on stuff in your golden years. If you even retire from whatever you do, if you have your own business, you're an entrepreneur, you're probably never going to stop. But now is the time where you can really be seen. If you haven't had a public platform, if you haven't cared much about your marketing, now's the time. And you can have a lot of success in the public eye right now. People want to see you. You're already gorgeous because you're a Taurus, but you've been going through your emo phase and now you're out of it. You're going to be a lot less emotional, and that is good for you because Tauruses don't tend to enjoy a lot of emotion, but you can really get stubborn during this time. Very stubborn, and you can get slightly arrogant. Leo enjoys the looks, being seen, and so if you combine that, you can. But I mean, it's your golden year, so I don't even want to tell you not to. It's like, you've been working so hard, just do you at this point. But just very focused on self-preservation. That's what Taurus represents, self-preservation. So you've been preserving yourself, right? You might not be the warmest, most nurturing grandparent, for example, if you go into this now. If you become a grandparent at this phase, if you became a grandparent in your Cancer phase, you can be very nurturing to those grandchildren. As soon as you go into your Leo phase, you're just like, not my problem. Like, it's not my kids, not my problem. Like, I'm gonna do my pursuits. This is my time. You might have fun with the grandkids, like take them fun places. Don't get me wrong. You can be very fun at this time. But you're going to want to do your creative stuff. So you're going to do your gardening. Be careful of overdoing it also during this, because you already overdo it with food and with drinks. So you overdo it with anything pleasurable. And Leo is all about celebrating the moment here and now, having the party, going to the party, being the party, looking like the party. If you have gotten a divorce and you're back on the market, great time for you. I know a Taurus whose husband passed away. When she was going through this progression, she was back on the market in a year, got married again at 75. I'm just saying, like, this is a time where you can really just have lots of fun and entertain, and you're gonna love to entertain, and you won't be emotional the way you were during your Cancer progression. It's less domestic. It's more about, I'm a kid again, and yeah. Now, if you are a Aries, you may experience this. I'm an Aries. I was born at the end of Aries season, so there's a chance it's gonna be rare. Like, it's a rare, I might not make it. It's gonna be very small percentage of Aries, obviously. But if we do this, we have made our full fire circle. So we have gone through Aries fire. If you had this placement, this setup, then you weren't in Aries for very long. You quickly went into your Taurus progression. Like, I went in when I was like 6, I think. In your 30s, you would have gone into your Gemini progression, as I did. In our 60s, we will go into our Cancer progression, God willing. And then in our 90s, we will go. So that was cardinal fire, fixed earth, mutable air, cardinal water, and now fixed fire. And the thing about this is, like, if you don't have any Leo energy, you will have never experienced that, like, royalty phase of your life. You will never have risen from the quintessential fire, which is Aries. It's like the lamb. It's the beginning of spring. It's just instinct. It's pure instinct. That's what we are. We go through our Taurus phase, which is learning how to be more grounded and patient. We go through our Gemini phase, which is learning how to communicate, give and receive information, be a little bit more like objective about things and more logical. Then we go through our Cancer phase, family, where we come from, domestic life, staying in. Leo, ironically, when you're in the 90s, you will want to be seen again. And you can actually have some Aries who are very, they're elderly, but they can be in the public eye. You have a lot of wisdom because you've gone through all the elements. You can be successful in your 90s on social media, be opening doors for people who are to come. Even if you don't want to be on social media, you're going to be like the matriarch or the patriarch of your family and get a lot of respect. You're going to be wanting to have fun with the little ones. You could even have great grandkids that you're like having fun with at this point. You are hands off when it comes to domestic life at this point. You want to party. Quintessential Aries love fun, right? Leo loves to party. Do it up in the nursing home. You have your fun. This is just the time to celebrate here and now. And it's no longer survival Aries fire. It's like that Leo celebration fire. It's like banquet, celebration. There is nothing to survive. There is no survival instincts necessary. It is just about pleasure. So have fun at the end of your life. I hope I get there one day. That would be awesome. Maybe I'll look back. This is so meta. I'm probably going to look back on this video if I make it to my Leo progression, and I'll be like, that was me talking to me about what I'm going through right now. Hi, future Abby. Hi. Okay, so if you have Sun progressing through your 5th house, it doesn't matter what sign it's in, but the 5th house is the part of the chart that has to do with your creative pursuits, and it also has to do with your children, your self-expression, so the mode of self-expression, however you do that, and it has to do with lovers and like passionate love affairs. Anything that is non-committal and is fun, is passionate, is pleasurable, and has nothing to do with deepening an already established commitment. That's the 5th house. So you're going to be focused on creative pursuits. This is a time where you could definitely make your hobbies your job. Now, the part of the chart that's lighting up is the part that has to do with your passions. It rules the heart. The 5th house rules gambling and speculation. I'm not saying you'll be good at it. If you're a life path 5 and you're going through this, I can guarantee you're going to be gambling, you're going to be drinking too much, and you're going to be sleeping around. The 5th house also rules your children. And so if you already have children, they're going to be very significant in your life, or their lives are going to be a big focus for you. You might become like super involved in their lives. If they're young, you might become like kind of like a stage mom or a stage dad type of energy. You could become that way about your own life. If you don't have kids, your kids are just your creation, because you literally created them. Like, they're walking around and you created them. But your other pursuits are just as important at this time. So if you already have something, like if you have a social media account, or if you have a hobby, or you have a side gig that you're very passionate about, it's just going to take over all the focus for right now. The 5th house and Leo in general rules the heart and the back. So you just want to be cognizant of any problems that you might be having, like spinal issues or heart issues or anything. So that is my take on progressed sun in Leo and in the 5th house. If you guys have any questions or comments, or you're going through one of these progressions, let us know how it's going for you. And please don't forget to subscribe if you're new to my channel. Please give me a like, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.